Thank you. There it is. Thank you. I needed that. So we're gonna ask the basketball trainer. What? Oh my gosh. What happened, and what do you think they should do moving forward?
I think the size of the Lakers, I guess the undersized Warriors just weren't enough. I think that Kevon Looney is a good big, but he is not good enough to guard AD. I think
Which is fair. Most bigs aren't good enough to guard Anthony Davis.
Yeah, right. When he's healthy, top 5 player in the league for sure.
I disagree with that, but we'll continue.
Wow. You're a Lakers fan. This is crazy.
He's not. I think to be top 5.
Healthy?
No. He's top 5 talent. Top 5 player is crazy. Top 5 player to me, you got to be able to be the guy. You got to be the main guy. It's only a couple people that have ever been top 5 players that have been Robins, but usually those Robins become Batman. So Kobe, obviously.
That's fair.
Dwayne Wade basically was already a Batman before he just went back to being Robin. No, went back to be Robin.
He had to.
Yeah. So, but he's top 5 players. So these are guys that led teams. And Anthony Davis, that's not him.
That's fair.
Let's continue, though.
I think that the Warriors shooting minus Steph Curry was abysmal. Klay Thompson he talked all that stuff about going back to LA and how he was so ready for that and essentially just laid down. I think that Draymond Green, I think that he's an exceptional basketball mind. I think that he is too much on the LeBron train to beat him. Seriously. They're too close of buddies. And I think that if Jordan Poole hits that shot, he doesn't have the series that he has because the world came down on him after he missed that shot.
And the world was already coming down on him for his play in the Kings series.
Exactly. And in the regular season, he essentially got what a lot of players do. He got the bag, and then that first year he
got knocked out too. There was that he got robbed.
He got that was violent. But I think that overall he got the bag, and his play dipped. I don't know if his training was off after that. I don't know kind of what happened, but he was also talking about how his shot didn't feel right. That's a mental thing a lot of the times.
Okay.
And I think that him seeing the world come down on him after he missed that shot killed everything that he already was losing after the Kings series.
Yeah, it's a different type of mindset. Everyone talks about Kobe mentality. That's very tough to have, especially if you ever played sports or just anything in life. It's very tough to have to go out there and things don't go according to plan and still have the confidence to say, yeah, it is what it is. I think there's multiple superstars that talk about it, that if their shot's not going, they kind of like just pass the ball off. But you can't do that when you're the guy, right? When you say it's all going to fall on me. And even though Klay Thompson was missing shots after shots, Klay Thompson does have that in him. And obviously he didn't do well, but he's done it in the past where it's like, bro, it doesn't matter if I'm 0 for 5, 0 for 6, bro. Give me the ball. I'm taking 0 for 7. Give me the ball 0 for 8. And he's hit some big shots in his career. And, if we're talking about Mamba mentality to not go too far off, we'll get back to it. But Celtics, I think Jason Tatum showed the Mamba mentality in that game 6 against the Sixers. That was probably the most Mamba mentality I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. But stay on subject with the Warriors. The Warriors. So with Jordan Poole, we'll talk about Jordan Poole. He's like the biggest hiccup of the whole series. I understood why he struggled in the Kings series. Mm-hmm. It made sense why he struggled because the Kings to me were the biggest weakness for the Warriors. They were their kryptonite. And my reasoning behind that is because the same way they were very similar to John Morant in the Grizzlies. Their guards are very athletic and very speed-driven, quick first step. They're going to give the Warriors problems. Why would they give the Warriors problems? That is simple. It's because Klay Thompson isn't the elite defender anymore.
No.
Obviously, multiple ACL, MCL surgeries. So his defense has lapsed. He doesn't have the same lateral quickness. With that being said, you have two guards that are explosive. De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk.
Yeah.
So now, instead of one defensive liability with Stephen Curry, you now have two. And that's a problem, right? And when Klay Thompson's not hitting shots like he used to, it's even a bigger problem. So they're going to attack Klay and Curry, whereas before, Klay Thompson was the guy you didn't ISO. Only Curry was.
And they also really, really picked on Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole is also, when it's Curry, Klay, and Jordan Poole on the court together, their defensive rating is very bad because you have three guards that aren't, defensive specialists.
No.
Curry tries his hardest.
He actually improved his defense last year.
Yeah, he did. He improves his defense every year. I think that when he first came into the league, very soft.
Yeah, definitely.
But he gets better. He gets better. Klay isn't the Klay that he used to be.
Yeah, no.
And Jordan Poole has never been a
abysmal defense.
Yeah. So when those three are on the court together and you're playing against the Kings, De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk with a Harrison Barnes who's a veteran, a Kevin Huerter who didn't shoot well. I think if he would have shot well that series, the Kings would have won.
Well, it's kind of tough when you say that, and I always talk about this with people. And De'Aaron Fox mentioned it, I think, after game one. He was like, guarding Steph, J.R. Smith was, like, telling the truth. Like,
about Dellavedova.
Yeah, it's like people don't understand when you guard Steph Curry, you're running miles. Okay,
absolutely.
You're exhausted. It is incredibly hard to be a two-way player in the NBA, especially currently. So you have to chase Curry around all this time and then still be able to knock down your shots when you're not going to be able to get in rhythm. So you better be just a catch and shoot player. And that's very hard to do, especially when not a lot of people have that stamina and you've never been up against it. That is why if we go back to the olden days with the Spurs, where Kawhi Leonard won his finals MVP, him being a two-way player guarding LeBron that much and then scoring like how he did is a lot in the body. Like, that's incredible. So,
and he wasn't scoring like 30, 40 points a game.
Nah, it was like
De'Aaron
20.
Fox was coming out having to guard Curry. Davion Mitchell did the best that he could, and De'Aaron Fox was coming out and dropping.
Yeah, he took him in the fourth. He took him in the fourth.
So
he was like, I got him in fourth.
It is what it is. I think overall, the Warriors, their biggest thing is they need to figure out: are we taking Klay or are we taking Jordan Poole?
Yeah, because we've talked about it. Poole can't be on the court, especially in that Kings series. Like I said, I knew he would struggle because if his shot's not going, he shouldn't be on. He can't be on the court.
No.
And if that's it, and Monk and Fox, they are killers, right? I wanted De'Aaron Fox drafted over Lonzo, and I'm a Laker fan. I definitely wanted him.
Absolutely.
And they're killers, so they're like, oh yeah, bro, say less. And obviously Curry's heroics in Game 7, he was a guy. He was just like, I'm just, at that time he had the best player in the world title, so he was like, I'm gonna show you guys, and he did what he needed to do. But it made sense why they struggled, especially Poole. But and there's already a tension obviously in the locker room.
Yeah.
So, what do you think in general went wrong with this season?
Well, I think that their road record really showed. They were a really poor defensive team. They god awful.
What happened on the road? Like, what did they do? Like, they ate the food away?
I don't really know. Like, my whole thing is
food poisoning. Like,
I guess that they don't. I really don't know. Honestly, I think that their defensive leader in Draymond Green lost a lot of credibility after the Jordan Poole incident.
He rocked him crazy.
He really carried a lot of that. The Warriors played defense as hard as they did, and they still weren't a very good defensive team when they won the championship as well. But it was because of Draymond Green. And so now you have your leader, your vocal leader in Draymond Green, sucker punching your up-and-coming star who played very well in the playoffs and played very well in the championships. And now you lose all credibility. So now when Draymond is telling you to play defense, you're looking at him like, bro, if you don't get away from me, like, I'll punch you back.
They would have had.
I'm not Jordan Poole, So it's like, and I also think that what really hurt is having Kevon Looney and Draymond Green on the floor at the same time puts two non-shooters on the court. AD, all he has to do is sit in the paint. And LeBron James and AD, they funnel Steph Curry straight to the basket. Can't make a lot of layups with AD and LeBron hounding you like that.
Yeah, it was The funny part about this is, I actually think they were a solid defensive team last year. I think with Otto Porter Jr. and Gary Payton Jr. playing on the court more, I think they were solid. Their Lakers game plan was so funny because all the Lakers said was, you know what, you're right, Curry's the guy. Curry's the guy.
He's gonna get his.
They locked in on him being off ball, and they locked that up game one. And then towards the end of the quarter, the Warriors figured out we're going to have to play with Curry being on ball.
Right.
And it was like, okay, Curry's going to be on ball, but we'll still hound Clay. Jordan Poole's not going to be us. And they betted on Jordan Poole not hitting shots, which is interesting because the year before, Jordan Poole proved that he could make the shots. Mm-hmm. And if you're not hitting shots and they're just like, well, we'll live with Clay one-on-one and we'll hound Curry, we're betting against Poole. I didn't see that Poole would suffer like that when they're pretty much giving him shots.
Neither did I, yeah.
And it was fascinating to watch that the Lakers were just like, no, we'll bet the house. And the Warriors in themselves not being used to, Curry being on ball and scoring like how he was. Even in game 4 when they had the lead, they got the lead because Curry was playing on ball. Mm-hmm. They went away from it. Lakers came back. But then at that point, the house is on fire, so now it's a tough game.
Yeah.
And they originated back to Curry being off ball.
Yeah.
But that wasn't them. So it's hard to be mad at them, be like, oh, you went away. But they've always been off ball.
I think a really good thing that the Lakers did was they turned Steph Curry into a facilitator. And they said, just like you said, we'll live with everybody else beating us like they did in that game where he had I think 12 or something, like a double-digit number assist game, and they won, and the Warriors won. The Lakers were like, we'll live with that because as long as he's not hitting threes, as long as he's not, kind of giving that energy, back to the crowd and everything like that, they can't beat us with twos. You know what I'm saying? The Warriors have religiously been one of the teams that kind of galvanized the three-point movement. And,
Yeah, no, they're definitely number one.
Exactly. So they were like, we'll take twos. We'll take JaMychal Green beating us.
Yeah.
In one game because he's not going to be able to do that.
Which is interesting. They didn't play him the next game. And I didn't really understand that. If it worked, I didn't see why at least give it a try.
I don't know. I think it's one of those things where you just kind of go, okay, he had a good game. But
okay.
Do we bank on him doing it again? Probably not. And you should have, maybe because nothing else was working. But at the same time, it's like you just got to kind of be like, whatever, man.
No, bro, you set them up. It was like, yeah, I get it. It might be a one-hit wonder. Yeah. You should, though. You should.
Try it out, because, you're down 3-2.
Yeah, you're definitely a businessman.
Don't have anything.
That was the greatest way of saying someone's an idiot I've ever listened to.
Yeah.
That was the nicest way I've ever. No, I get it. I totally understand your thinking. You should have did it, though. You should have
nothing to lose. You are already down 3-2. Throw everything but the kitchen sink at me.
So fascinating when we talk about the Warriors situation. So we got to focus on Poole. A lot of people are on Poole, but there's an entire theme to this. Kuminga is in that conversation too. Mm-hmm. And when we talk about what went wrong with